Hello, welcome to another US Geoguessr professor video. I am a professor, although not of geography. I'm a US geography expert, I'm a GeoGuessr enthusiast, and I am here to help you improve your US GeoGuessr game, hopefully give you a little bit of entertainment in the process. But I'm going to take you through 5 rounds in the populated United States, as you can see on this map, a stochastic populated United States with over 125,000 populated locations. I'm going to start out no moving. Hopefully I can impress you with 5 rounds of no moving and we can pinpoint where we are. But I'm going to keep that on just in case we might need a few more hints or clues. As we know, the US, a vast country, and sometimes difficult to region guess, but that is why I am here to take you through some strategy and some gameplay in US Geoguessr. Wow, we are dropped in snow coverage right away. This is pretty exciting. Snow coverage is generally pretty rare in US Geoguessr, especially deep snow coverage like this. From what I know about deep snow coverage, I would expect us to be somewhere in Minnesota or possibly as far north and west as around Fargo, North Dakota. From my understanding, this kind of really hardcore winter coverage is going to be somewhere in the Dakotas or through Minnesota. Let's take a look at our first license plate here. We have a blue plate at the top. That is an interesting design. And then we have this kind of just brown patch at the bottom. We see off in the distance bears. Okay, on the side of this van. I think the most important thing here is deep snow coverage. That's going to point me really towards Minnesota or the Dakotas. Here we have a pretty confusing set of logos on this car. We have the same license plate, it looks like. We have a Golden State Warriors sticker, we have a Green Bay Packers, and we also have a Chicago White Sox. Wow. So Golden State Warriors used to play in Oakland. They now play in San Francisco. Could we be somewhere near Green Bay, Wisconsin, and that far east? Certainly we could have snow like this, and certainly a lot of, I think the architecture like this would lend itself maybe to northern Wisconsin, but I don't believe I've seen any real snow coverage there. This first flag that I saw, you see it says Jackrabbits backwards, and it has a yellow and blue design. That is I'm sorry, South Dakota, a pretty obscure American university, but I know the Jackrabbits are either University of South Dakota or South Dakota State. I am not entirely sure. So that would put us really somewhere in South Dakota, which would make sense with this deep snow coverage. It would make sense with this kind of plain. Do you see how there's like that just very plain kind of pewterish shades of houses, especially that one that's so indicative of the upper Midwest? Now, if we zoom on to South Dakota, I know that one of the major universities in South Dakota is in Brookings. And that is South Dakota State. Is South Dakota State the Jackrabbits? I think they are, and I kind of want to say they are. We have 2 plates. Are those South Dakota plates? I got to admit that I don't have South Dakota plates memorized, unlike a lot of other states. Plates are matching. I'm moving. I think from that flag, I think from the general architecture, the snow coverage, I think it would be perhaps the best guess to say that we're somewhere in extreme eastern South Dakota. Let's see if we can get anything off of this interesting bear van here. Bear's Home Solution, Bear's Heating, Cooling, Fireplaces, Grand Forks, North Dakota, Fargo, North Dakota, and something in the middle. So that would obviously point us farther north into North Dakota, which would make sense. I originally said with this kind of deep snow coverage, we are looking, I believe, up the, is this the Red River Valley? Up one of the valleys in Minnesota, maybe the Minnesota River Valley, up into Fargo, I think is where we're going to find a lot of the snow coverage, like up through St. Cloud, probably into eastern South Dakota as well. But now I'm thinking that that South Dakota state flag was a bit of a red herring. And now I am thinking that these are North Dakota license plates, and that we are probably somewhere in the Fargo area. Yeah, see, we are spit out here in summer coverage when we emerge from this little neighborhood, and then we go back into deep snow. And by deep, you know, we're talking about over a foot here. 33 Street South, that would also be really indicative of North and South Dakota street numbering. 33 Street South, could we be in Fargo? 35th Avenue South, 25 Street South. Now, back there on the bear van, the first city it said, though, was Grand Forks. So I think we should take a look here and see if we could possibly be in Grand Forks. South 38th Avenue, South 12th Street, 33 Street South. Don't think so. That looks to me a little bit more like Fargo grid system. And it looks like we are at least in a mid-sized city for the upper Great Plains or the upper Midwest. I would really like to get an area code, 701. Okay, that's a good area code that confirms North Dakota beyond a reasonable doubt. Because we were getting a little bit of mixed signals. That flag was a South Dakota state, if I'm not mistaken, flag. But that 701 area code is exclusive to North Dakota. So if we look at Fargo, Wheatland Place Apartments, 31st Avenue Southwest. 31st Avenue Southwest. Does that make sense? For Fargo, that said southeast. 25th Street South, 45th Street South. 31st Avenue Southwest. Would this make more sense for Grand Forks? South 48th Street. 28th Avenue South. I don't think it does. Where else could we be? Could we be in Bismarck? We know we're in North Dakota. I'm really thinking with this kind of snow coverage, Fargo. Let's get out and see if maybe we can just get something off of this main road. Sterling Center, 32nd Avenue Southwest. Sanford Hearing Center. Sanford, interesting. North 2981 Grand Forks, keep right. So could we be 2981? Where does 81 come in? There's Business 81. There's 2981 headed north to Grand Forks. So I think that confirms that really we have to be in Fargo. Grand Forks. We have a minute left. We're in the middle of snow. Here we see Sioux Falls, Grand Forks. That really confirms that, as I originally thought, we were in Fargo. 36th Street Southwest. So we're going to have to be down here. But I was confused. It says 29 35th Street South. Where is Southwest? There's Southwest. Why were none of those street signs matching up? So we were at 33rd Street Southwest. I don't think we are going to be able to 5K here. I think we are going to be up here, 39th Southwest. I think we're going to be in this neighborhood, 33rd Street South. I think we're somewhere here, possibly, on 33rd Street South. That would make sense. We're close to 29. We are in South Fargo. Okay, 4994. Not bad. Really, let's just take a look. I was confused because of this Fargo grid system. We have 33rd Avenue South turning into 33rd Avenue Southwest, turning back into 33rd Avenue South. That's strange. It really doesn't seem like there's anything. Could this be like a Des Moines situation where we have some roads that don't seem to make sense running into each other? Well, we got within yards, and about 1,100 yards south of where we wanted to be in Fargo, but I don't feel too bad about that. Let's take a look at seed number 2. We had to move. I think I probably would have gone a little bit more off that flag and would have been tempted to go South Dakota if we wouldn't have moved. So I'm glad that we got into that Fargo area eventually. Everywhere we look, we see front plates. Everywhere I also see what look to me to be California plates. Those are somewhat distinctive. They are mostly white and pretty nondescript, but they generally have this faint California in red script at the top. So I am certainly thinking that we're somewhere in California. Take a look at these low and these very green mountains there in the distance. Those are interesting. Also, these very fat pine trees there to the left. We have those pine trees coupled with some robust evergreen pine trees as well. So that's an interesting mix. I would say that's pretty typical of California. If we take a look farther south down this road, we can just make out, and I think I'm going to move so that we can see those a little bit better. You can just make out those green state highway signs. They're those kind of green teardrop shape, and those are California state highway signs. So that is a confirmation that we're in the state of California. And it looks like we have some street signs here that are going to help us pinpoint. 210, Redlands, East 210. 210 West, Los Angeles, Riverside. So Riverside is a big city that's east of Los Angeles in the Inland Empire. So it would be interesting if we were even farther east of Riverside. That would put us really in the desert of California. There you can see Los Angeles, Riverside, Palm Springs there in the middle. So 210 east towards Redlands. Redlands makes me think of Northern California, but certainly this proliferation of palm trees would not make me think of Northern California at all, and especially with the sign, Los Angeles, Riverside, we gotta be I would say, yeah, in the Inland Empire, but west to Riverside, that means we got to be somewhere here. 215, 210 west, Los Angeles Riverside, east 210 Redlands. Great. So I would venture to say that we are. Could we be in San Bernardino? It certainly looks like we are. Let's return to our origin, which is not very far. Let's just go a little bit in the other direction. It seems like we're at a park. Let's read our sign here. City of San Bernardino. Okay, cool. So yeah, that is where we are. Ralph Hareen Reservoir, Pu Ping Plant, and Park Complex. Where could we be? That is near a reservoir in San Bernardino. Could we be down here off the Santa Ana River, possibly? See how that road is going off to Riverside, but notice that the 210 is up here. I believe if you're from Southern California, that's even how you'd say it, the 210. And so if we are going east, that's going to Highland, San Bernardino Soccer Complex. Where could we be? Well, we're near Marshall Boulevard. We have pretty high mountains to the north, northeast, okay, which would make a lot of sense if we were here somewhere in North San Bernardino. Definitely. Marshall Boulevard. Can we just get a pinpoint on Marshall Boulevard? Yeah, that's where we are. Cool. So we must be at the intersection of one of these north-south roads, and then certainly Marshall. We headed south towards the 210. That definitely makes sense. We are near that Pu Ping plant, though. Where is that? Did I even read that correctly? Ralph Hareen Reservoir, Pu Ping plant, and Park Complex. Marshall does not seem to be all that long. Marshall runs east-west, which definitely makes sense. There's Sterling Park. Where the heck? SMB SAR station. What could that be? Could we be... Oh, does Marshall continue? Yeah, Marshall continues. So that's going to be frustrating. We could be anywhere here, I think. There... Pupusas, no? Can't find that. Ralph Hareen Reservoir. We got to be somewhere here in northern San Bernardino. We need to find a cross street with Marshall. So with under 4 minutes left, I think we're going to be able to do that. We've pinpointed just enough. Here we are at Marshall, 300 East, and then Waterman. Wow, I think I saw Waterman, did I not? Harrison, Del Rosa. Where's Marshall? Did I lose Marshall? No. Eureka, Marshall. Marshall and Waterman. I swear I saw you. Sterling, Chiquita, Del Rosa, Mountain Avenue, Golden, Harrison, Valencia. Marshall, is this Waterman, the 18? Yeah, then there's Hareen Park. Wow, that was tough. The full name of that place was a lot different. And here we are just at the south end of that parking loop, an 18. So are we going to come back from last round with a 5K here in San Bernardino? Yes. Okay, so we immediately saw those mountains, the palm trees, everything about this told us California. We saw the 210 going west to Los Angeles and to Riverside, and now I see why It says we are going west to Riverside. Okay, so just a little bit confusing, but yeah, we were there in the Inland Empire, northern San Bernardino, California. Number 3, we also immediately see a palm tree, but notice it is a different kind of palm tree. It's a little thinner. It's wispier, for lack of a better term. Crystal Lakes, last day of school. Crystal Lakes Elementary School. More palm trees that were closer to the ones we just saw in San Bernardino, Southern California, but still a little bit different. They're kind of puffier, and the trunks are thinner. We saw a lot of like the fat palm trees in San Bernardino. Here we see ones that are a little bit thinner. I think given this difference in palm trees, and especially these ones like these that we first saw, we are definitely in extreme southeastern, low country US. So anywhere from like Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, on down through Florida, and I would venture to say that with a name like Crystal Lakes and with these faint Florida-looking license plates, I would definitely go towards Florida. I don't think we're too far in Florida. We could be in this central part of the state, this kind of central interior part around Orlando and Tampa, southeast of Tampa, where we get a lot of these lakes. We could definitely be northwest of Orlando. We could really be in Crystal Lakes, probably almost anywhere in this chain of lakes, really. I don't immediately recognize Crystal Lakes as a place name. It seems like a very generic Florida kind of name. I'm not sure that this is giving us enough to pinpoint no moving, and unfortunately I think we're just going to have to move again. We're Crystal Lakes. I'm not on a grid system. So I think, yeah, there's a lake right there. This is just everything about this is screaming Central Florida to me, but I think we just need a little bit more. I'd like to get a clearer look at these signs. Palm Beach County School System. Okay, so we're farther south in Florida. Notice I said we could be like southeast of Tampa. Yeah, it looks like we're kind of way southeast of Tampa. Palm Beach County. So my Florida is not great, but it's got to tell me that we're somewhere around Palm Beach, West Palm Beach, North Palm Beach. And notice that we have some lakes around here as well, Cypress Lake. So it's really plausible that Crystal Lakes would be in Palm Beach County, but I think that Palm Beach County is pretty big. I'm not sure that we are going to be able to pinpoint exactly where we are in the county just from that sign and that elementary school. But we're narrowing it down. Immediate vibes was Florida, and then we have narrowed it down to county. We're in southeastern Florida, and the more I'm looking around, the more I'm thinking that, yeah, that really makes sense for sure. Things are, I think these kind of palm trees are predominating more so than those kind of puffball ones that we saw at the beginning. We're also getting some really vast resort kind of looking subdivisions. Those are really, really typical of, you know, all of Florida, but certainly going down into that southeast coast as well. Be nice if we could get some sort of just sense of where we are. We're on a northeast road that looks to be A divided parkway, but not a highway. It's only a 40-mile-an-hour zone here, so it seems to be largely residential, suburban. Again, lots and lots of Florida could look like this, but look at everything telling us Florida here. This architecture that's all really similarly colored, carefully manicured shrubs, landscapes, sidewalks, these kind of lagoons everywhere. Again, with this kind of landscape, a lot of South Carolina does look like this, but we're getting a little bit too tropical for that. So probably, well, I mean, definitely we're somewhere in Palm Beach County. I mean, can we finally get a grid system? Rainbow Lakes communities, military trace 8750, 8740. So that's going to be a north-south road. Could we be 87 or 83 south or north? Gateway Boulevard, 49, 5000. Now, where in Palm Beach County could these road systems be radiating out of? I would have to think West Palm Beach. It's just a guess, though. Gateway Boulevard would be going east-west, and I would have to think that we are at 5000 west on Gateway. Yep. And then Military Trail, 8750, 8740. That could be north or south. It really could be. So what road is Military Trail? Florida's Turnpike, Jog Road. Let's just start. Can we use this grid system for anything? Gateway Boulevard, 4900, 5000. So we got to be at 5000 west. There's Military Trail. Good, good, good. Okay, running north-south. And so where's Gateway? Cool. So that's our east-west road. Forest Hill, Military Trail. So I'm going to have to guess that's the 5000, but are we at 8750 south or north? Boynton Beach, Woolbright. Are we going to find Gateway in time? Are we as far down as possibly Delray Beach, Atlantic, Military Trail, Linton, Boca Raton? Could we be in Boca? See all these, see all of these lakes and all of these created communities. Wouldn't think that we're that far south. I think that we're farther up towards West Palm. But there's Military Trail. We could easily be at 8750 north as well. 45th, MLK. The problem is all of these streets here in Florida, they're so dense. And they're so, you don't know, they have numbers, but they have names too. We could be just almost anywhere. Jupiter Lakes, Jupiter River Estates. What do we know? We know we're at Palm Beach County, and we know we're at Rainbow Lakes. Well, if I had all the time in the world, I could keep searching, right? Woodbine Apartments, North Lake. Where would Gateway be? Would we think Gateway would be south or north? 8750, 8740. So the numbers are going down, going north. So that means, rather obviously, we're at 8750 south. So way south of West Palm Beach. On Military Trail, Lantana, Hypoluxo Road. Yeah, gotta be south. Okay, so notice that those, Boynton Beach, Woolbright, gotta be south. Gulf, Piper's Glen, Coconut, gotta be south. Lake Ida. Where's Gateway? Are we as far south as Boca Raton? Let's go far. Let's assume that we're at West Palm Beach. So 5,000 that way, 8,550 this way. Let's just say we're going to be somewhere around here, like Green Acres, Florida. Not bad. There's Gateway Boulevard. Okay, so I saw Northwest 22nd Avenue, and of course that turns into Gateway Boulevard. We were pretty close on the longitude. Yeah. We were really in the right part of Florida, in the right part of the county. I'll take it. All right, now we are in a strip mall. Surrounded by plates. This is a pretty nondescript strip mall, would you not say? MCJ Jewelers. Could that stand for anything geographical? Probably not. 847. 847. That's our area code. Okay, so what does 847 make me think of with area code? I'm not sure. Not sure that I have that one. 847. Actually, I think I might. I think that's an Illinois plate. We have similar license plates everywhere. We have front plates. We have blue at the top, white at the bottom. We have healthy mix of deciduous but also coniferous trees. We have a Huntington Bank. Okay, that could narrow down the region. Huntington is around Ohio, though. I want to say that headquarters of Huntington Bank are in Columbus. We're not in Columbus, no. Those are not Ohio plates. These are Illinois plates. 847 is, I want to say, a Chicagoland area code. Want to say northwest Chicagoland. That sign right there. Does that say Dempster? That says Dempster. We're definitely on the north side of Chicagoland. Those signs look weird, though. Wait. 847. 847. Come on, we got to be in Chicago, right? Vienna beef hot dogs? Vienna beef, dead giveaway for Chicago. That's a Chicago hot dog. Notice that it has the pickles and tomatoes on that sesame seed bun. Definite Chicagoland. Come on. Illinois plates, 847. Think we're even going to get the county here pretty quickly. What gave me pause were those county highway signs. Lake County, W17, Wyland Road, Deerfield Parkway, Highland Oaks, Lake County. So we know we are north of Chicago. Lake County is suburban county north of Chicago before you get to Wisconsin. It's a pretty big place. Could be anywhere from Highwood, Highland Park, you know, really like all the way up here through Gurnee, Waukegan. Lake County is it's big. I mean, like its north-south dimensions are really humongous. Could we possibly be, I guess the question is, if we want to region guess Lake County and we want to get as close as we possibly can without gathering more clues, the question is, are we closer to the Loop in downtown Chicago or are we closer to Wisconsin? Deerfield Parkway. Deerfield, I want to say, it's a pretty big city in North Chicagoland. Yeah. So I guess the answer was we were closer to Chicago than Wisconsin. There's Deerfield Road. Notice that it starts there at 41. Wouldn't be surprised if we're somewhere just like right here in Deerfield. We were at Deerfield Road and Wyland. Wyland W17. There's Wyland. So this will be northwest suburbs. As you can see, Deerfield Road is pretty long. There's Deerfield and Wyland. So there is Ravage Indian cuisine. We were pretty close to Ravage, right? Yeah, we were just south of Ravage. Right by Smoke for Less and this Cleaners. Sunshine Health Massage. Yeah, we were right there, right? Yep, Sunshine Health Massage. Smoke for Less. Yeah. All right, northwest Chicago suburb. So we got Illinois plates. We got typical northern or north central Midwest, if you will, foliage. We moved for a little bit. We discovered we were in Lake County. Lake County's a big place. I mean, Lake County, you know, is like about this. If you look at it on a map. So we weren't close to Wisconsin. We were much closer to Chicago. That Vienna beef hot dog, that was such a clue. Some people like Vienna beef Chicago dogs. Some people dislike Chicago dogs. I mean, me, I like ketchup. I like Chicago dogs, but I also like ketchup. Ketchup is, you know, kind of not a... It's persona non grata in Chicagoland. Let me just put it that way. Okay, notice this. Visibly kind of grainy, ridged concrete road. Interesting. Doesn't immediately give me a great hint as to where we are. But the fact that we have a few cars without front plates is definitely a good hint. We also are going towards what looks to be a 3-digit interstate highway, and it looks like that says east. Also, we have some rather mountainous foliage, almost exclusively deciduous. So, I would expect us, therefore, to be somewhere perhaps in the northern Appalachians, maybe even going into New England. This kind of like low rolling terrain. It could possibly be somewhere like Pennsylvania. I mean, I could definitely see this being like central maybe or southwestern Pennsylvania. If I zoom in on this Mercedes Pennsylvania plate. So top blue, middle white, bottom yellow. But remember, we had a couple cars at the beginning that didn't have front plates. And if I am not mistaken, Pennsylvania requires front plates. Do they not? I'm almost positive Pennsylvania requires front plates. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. I'm going to withhold judgment on that. Sometimes, especially with these states that are on the border, because Pennsylvania's like mid-Atlantic. It's not southeast. I got to be honest, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We have a bunch of cars with no front plates. Cargo 1, 2, and 3. Moon Clinton Road. International Drive. Okay. Before we even zoom on this other sign, I think I'm pretty good. I think we are in western Pennsylvania. I think we are near Pittsburgh Airport. The moon is what gives this away. So I was already thinking Pennsylvania. We had Pennsylvania plates. So given that we're near an airport, maybe not all those cars were Pennsylvania, but I mean, I need to brush up on my Pennsylvania front plates, I guess. Doesn't matter because that's where we are. See airport there, and that 3-digit interstate number was a 376. So a 376 is going to be a spur road coming off of Interstate 76. And notice that it goes west-northwest of Pittsburgh. Now, the first thing that would tip me off, besides those Pennsylvania plates, they're distinct, blue, white, yellow at the bottom, would be that Moon name. See how right around Pittsburgh International Airport, it's known as Moon Township, Carnot Moon. So that name, Moon Clinton Road, that was a tip-off. So we are on a road headed west-northwest to 376 East. To 376 East, Flaherty Run Road Airport. So I would assume, is that up here? Are we farther north towards like Aliquippa, Beaver on 376 East? 376 East. So notice how 376 East goes into downtown Pittsburgh through Green Tree and through the tunnels. But if we go 376 East towards the airport, that would put us somewhere in this area, possibly farther north. If I'm going to pinpoint this, I think we need more. So there's our exit. Moon International Drive, Moon Clinton Road. We have to be somewhere near the airport. There's 376, Hooktown grade. Economy grade, 2376 East, Flaherty Run Airport. The confusing environs of Pittsburgh. It's hard to drive around here, too, let me tell you that much. Pittsburgh's confusing. Well, we know that we're somewhere north of Pittsburgh. We know that we're somewhere around Moon Township, right? We know that we are on 376 going east, so I'm just going to put us really here on Moon Township, maybe just a little bit northwest of the airport. I think this is going to put us close. Yeah, okay, so we were even closer to the airport. Carnot Moon, International Drive. Yeah, I should have plonked us a little bit closer to Moon Township, but I will take it. 4967, not bad. So that leaves us with a final score of 24,924. I suppose we could have worked a little bit harder there in Western Pennsylvania, but for 5 pretty different locations, I think we did pretty well, and I hope you learned a little something. What was our worst round? It wasn't that Pennsylvania round. It was down there in Palm Beach County. But for the most part, we were really close. 38 minutes, 24,924. We had a lot of clues. We had 5 different regions. Started out in deep snow and ended up near Pittsburgh. So I thank you for watching. I hope you learned a little bit of something about U.S. geography and U.S. Geoguessr.